Alright, everybody, welcome back to the Arena Football Nation channel. And in today's video, we're going to get right into the Week 3 action of the National Arena League. We had two games on the docket with an old NAL rivalry renewed as the Carolina Cobras traveled to the Columbus Lions. And in Game 2, we had the Wheeling Miners making the trip down to Shreveport to face the Rugaroo. Alright, everybody, let's get right into it. So in our first game of the week for the NAL, and it would probably be our, obviously our game of the week, you had a pretty interesting matchup. This is one of the matchups we were looking forward to in the offseason, and that was the Cobras and the Lions renewing their old rivalry in the NAL. Highly anticipated matchup, really, looking to see the team that's going to win this little divisional and old rivalry. They're going to be the one of the teams that's going to probably be on top of the division. So this is an early sight to see what team is going to be coming on top. So, like I said, anticipated matchup. You're looking to see a lot of fireworks. Should be an exciting game overall. But man, lo and behold, and I couldn't believe it when I was watching, the Lions just absolutely shut out the Cobras. This is the first time the Carolina Cobras have ever been shut out. And if you know anything about arena indoor football, you know that it's harder to not score any points at all than it is to score points. So, with it being a shorter field and everything else, usually these games are high scoring and a lot of excitement. But man, this was a bit of a slugfest here with the Lions just really overpowering the Cobras, and the final score ended up being Columbus Lions 25 and the Cobras 0. So, pretty crazy to see. Never did I. That was not on my list of things I thought I would see being a result of this game. But the Lions played the game the same fashion fans can remember them as they were in the NAL. As they're just a very good defensive team. They're low scoring usually, not too crazy with the offense, but they're always got a solid defense, and they always fill in those major plays that determine the outcome of a game, whether it be defensively or offensively. But they defended their home turf crazy, 25-0. And like I said, that's the Cobras' first time ever being scoreless in a game. This puts the Columbus Lions at the top of the American Division with a record of 2-0. So, man, really impressed with the Lions. That's a quite the feat, and they are looking really good as a team in the 2025 season regardless. Standout performances in this game, I have to say, it has to go offensive player of the week, for this game as well. It's got to be Marcus Brooks. The Columbus Lions, he had 14 completions for 152 yards and 3 touchdowns, so did a solid job there manning the offense. And then on defense, leading that defense there, doing a fantastic job to lead to the shutout. You got DeAndre Brown for the Lions. He had 5 tackles and 2 sacks. And on the Carolina Cobra side, you'd have to go with their kick returner, Damon Stokes. He had 3 kick returns for 59 yards and 19 yards per return on average. So, a decent job there, but not good enough to get them some points on the board. Surprising to say the least. I think the Cobras will bounce back, though. This seems to be, man, a little bit of an anomaly if I've ever seen one. But if Columbus can repeat this same result next week when they play each other, then I would be absolutely shocked. So Columbus looking really good. Carolina looking like they might have came this game a little, I don't know what to say. I don't want to say unprepared because I doubt that was the case. But I mean, I just can't believe. I've never seen Carolina not score any points, obviously. So really shocking to say the least. All right, now let's move on to the next game. You had the Wheeling Miners going to play the Shreveport Rugaroo. And this game was another one where I had my thought that I knew what was going to happen going into it. Wheeling Miners 0-2. They got to get a win here. This is a very important game for them. Like I said before, only 10-game regular season. So I would say that the 3 to 5 game mark, you really got to start getting some wins. You can't be getting in a hole, because it'll take a while to claw out of it. And, man, this is a low-scoring affair. And Wheeling did have some, they had some injured players going in this game. And they did lose their starting quarterback. So they were in a hole in this game, unfortunately, but they still got to find a way to win. And like I said, unfortunately, they didn't. The Rugaroo get their first win of the 2025 NAL season and their first win as a franchise, defeating the Wheeling Miners 20-13. Like I said, low scoring affair. Rugaroo just found the ways to make plays and do what they needed to do to get this win. Wheeling falling to 0-3. This is a nightmare scenario. I thought this game was a must-win for them. And I'm not saying they're completely out of playoffs at this point. Not by any means, but man, it's about time to start sounding that alarm for sure. And I think Coach Rez there with the Miners and the coaching staff and the players, I think they realize that. And they are going to find a way, one way or another, to turn it around, because it is now do or die going forward. They have to start getting some wins with this way the playoff picture goes in the NAL. Like I said, they did have injuries, and they did have their quarterback out for the game. But despite that adversity, I gotta say they still put up a good fight right there till the end. They had a chance to come back and either tie it up or take the lead. But you got to give props to the Rugaroo getting their first win. That was pretty awesome for them in their arena, for the fans to get that win. And even though the Wheeling Miners are, they're down a little bit this year, it looks like, it's still a solid franchise and very respectable to get a win against them. So that's a great win for the Rugaroo and for those fans, to enjoy that. So an early win, early first win for the franchise ever for that team. So you gotta be happy for them. You gotta, think that they gotta be enjoying that. So I know right there, as I was watching the stream, they had fans, a bunch of kids run onto the field, and they're all so excited and happy, jumping on the players. So you gotta feel good for them. But I do think they need to make some adjustments and fix some things to compete for a playoff position this year. So 2 great games at the end of the day. A lot of storylines for the NAL in this week. Let's jump right into our preview for the following week. That would be March 28th through the 29th. We have 3 games for this upcoming weekend. The Columbus Lions and the Carolina Cobras. It's a home and home series. Lions are now traveling to the Cobras to face them. So, like I said, crazy result in that game. I gotta think the Cobras are gonna come back and show a lot more fight this game. Fans should come out in full force to defend the Snake Pit, right? So, and then Columbus Lions, I was really impressed with them. So we gotta think that they're going to come out and try to assert their dominance again and prove why they're one of the best teams in the NAL coming into this season. Next up, you have the Idaho Horsemen traveling to the Omaha Beef. Beef didn't play this past weekend, obviously, but they are still 2-0 and looking really solid. Definitely one of the top 2 teams at this point in the league, this early on. And they're going to look to defend their home turf against the Idaho Horsemen. Idaho still sitting out 0-1, so they're looking to make something happen. Maybe upset the defending champion at their own home field. And it should be a good matchup. Beef, it's always fun to watch them play. Love their arena, love their fans. They do a fantastic job. Idaho Horsemen, they're not too much of they're not a slouch by any means. They're not a terrible team. So I think they're going to give them a good fight, and it should be a solid game. So definitely want to check that one out as well. Then you have the Colorado Spartans traveling to the Sioux City Bandits. And Sioux City, they're sitting at 1-1, and so is Colorado. So which team here is going to get the win and separate themselves in those standings? Spartans could easily, I think, put up a good fight, and the Sioux City has shown that they aren't, perfect or impenetrable with that early season loss already. So this should be another good matchup as well. A little separation there from the middle of the pack in that national division. All right, that'll be it for a preview of next week's games. Let's take a quick look at the standings. In the American Division, Columbus get a little separation there, putting themselves on top of the American Division, sitting at 2-0. Really showing that they are the team to beat in that East Coast Division. Second place, I have Beaumont Renegades at 1-0. They are looking pretty good with that 1 win. Haven't played since then, which is really which is really unfortunate. Love to see some more out of them after that big first win. Third place, Carolina sitting at 1-1, coming off that loss to Columbus. So they're looking to jump back and take it to Columbus and show why they should be at the top of the standings. Then you have Shreveport 1-1, and then Wheeling rounding it out. The Miners at 0-3. Then in the National Division, we have first in the standings, we have Omaha 2-0. Second place, we have Sioux City at 1-1. Third place, Colorado at 1-1, and in fourth rounding out, we have Idaho at 0-1. So, early outlook of the NAL season so far. Got a few surprises. Did not expect to see Wheeling at 0-3, but they're going through, some early season struggles, and let's see if they're able to make a quick turnaround to get back into that playoff hunt. Gotta say, I'm really looking forward to see more of the Renegades play, and Columbus looking pretty dominant right out the gate. Omaha, the old guard for the NAL already this past season, champion, still undefeated. So really excited to see how they look down the stretch if they can continue to assert such great dominance in the league. Sioux City, the team right behind them, they're looking to see if they can make a bounce back and give a fight for that national division. And then, of course, Colorado and Idaho, looking to see if one of them can also be a team to step up and challenge Omaha. All right, everybody, that's a quick little recap of this past weekend's games and what we have upcoming. If you enjoy this kind of content, I'd appreciate if you subscribe. Join the Arena Football Nation as we are on the way to 1,000 subscribers. And like the video, of course, as well. Show us that you appreciate this content as we work hard to make these videos and, watch all these games. It is almost a part-time job to do what we do, to watch and just try to analyze as much as possible and then also edit these videos. So we hope you enjoy them. We appreciate you checking it out. And be sure to check out some action because we're going to have a very big, packed weekend ahead of us between all the leagues. All right, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.